Liberty and freedom in early Western civilization, and I'm going to talk a little bit about and the United States. So Rosenthal Pool's article, Reflections on Ancient and Modern Freedom, uses the terms freedom and liberty interchangeably. But while their modern usage often overlaps, their etymologies and meanings have been debated and evolved over time. Baruch Spinoza's freedom was one of reasoned action. Similar to the notions espoused by the Greek Stoics, he saw freedom as a positive right where the state is the liberator. The Greek philosopher Aristotle employed the term eleutheria and its cognates to mean liberty and freedom, and that it was an individual's capacity to lead oneself. It is internal and self-directed, and as Moira Walsh argued, a negative conception. Before going too much further, it's important to talk about Isaiah Berlin's lecture at the University of Oxford in 1958, whereby he outlines his concept for two types of liberty. The first, the absence of external restraint or interference, is a negative liberty, and requiring the presence of something external is a positive liberty. According to Jeff Kennedy, our modern American conception of liberty, as it relates to republicanism, is rooted in the Roman conception of libertas, whereby to be free, one must be capable of processing rights of one's own and is premised on not being subjected to someone else's dominion, an absence of external restraint. Further, equa, which is equal, just, or impartial, libertas, means equality before the law of all personal and political rights. So these two different conceptions of libertas represent both negative right of the Greek eleutheria and Spinoza's positive conception of freedom as being granted by the state. It is here where these conceptions of negative rights converge and overlap, giving rise to later Western and our modern American concept of liberty and freedom. Freedom is agency, an internal process, and it's self-directed, whereas liberty is to be free from external restrictions. While these can be considered to be distinct domains, the modern overlaps and often interchangeable use may be attributable to the Aristotelian interpretations of eleutheria, liberty or freedom, as being from slavery, and one of the Old English meanings of freedom, freodum. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it in Old English, but also the emancipation from slavery. In the United States, then, the Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution can be seen as the compact between the government and the governed, guaranteeing our inherent rights, liberties, and freedom. Notably, we did have to free those which we enslaved and amend the Constitution several times to afford those same guarantees to African Americans and women and grant equal protections under the law. Nonetheless, one could think of the distinct definitions of liberty and freedom and their applications in the West as a grant of liberty to be free.